You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Claire, I'm not standing here asking you to marry me. I'm just asking you not to marry him.
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow.
It's the Al Travis Show, and I presume in the last 5 minutes or so that the fine senator has went and got herself a Gatorade, put her gloves on, and she's ready to rock and roll. Senator,
started a load
thanks.
of laundry. Does that count?
Yeah, kind of. It's getting stuff done. Nothing probably better than when you get to a point in life, and like, okay, you can kind of like during the day run and get some stuff done at home, right? I get done pretty early in the day, so I'm at home, and yeah, I got this and that to do. Like, hey, throw in that load, and you get, and it kind of just, it's, I don't know when life got easy like that, but it's so nice, isn't it? It's just like another level.
I have mixed feelings, honestly, about working from home because, you're always working, but you're always able to do the other stuff. So there's something, it's like, I write an email that I was not looking forward to writing because it was just going to be annoying or whatever. And so I finish it and it's like, oh, I'll go do dishes.
Okay. I never get that excited about stuff like that, but if I can help out, yeah. Anyway.
Water plants, it just, yeah.
Oh. My wife talks about that a lot. She must do that. Okay. I don't remember last time I watered the plants. Okay.
And yet they're there. So.
And they're growing. They seem happening. Well. So yeah, I thought it was just because on the south side of the house. Okay. Where are we going? Oh, good news today. Because last week you were very upset at those darn Republicans for keeping this government closed. As I understand it, because I saw Tom Emmer this morning, literally our congressman on the TV this morning, saying that they have the votes. It's skinny. They have because they're putting in a Democrat House person who's going to be sworn in first, out of New Mexico, I think. And then Arizona. Thank you. Yep. And so they have a 2-point lead, and he even said he thinks one is not going to go with them. So there's like this 1-point vote, but they're pretty sure they'll all be there. So hopefully no one gets sick or whatever. Anyway, 9:00, they vote. That gets passed. Trump says he'll sign this. So government back up and running. It's about time the Republicans did that for you, right? That's what last week you were very mad.
Here's a couple things that I think are interesting. I don't know if you heard this one, but in the Senate, because you keep saying it's a clean CR, and I keep saying, no, it's not. And here's another example of something else that has been done to this quote unquote clean CR, continuing resolution, that in the Senate, they put in $500,000 each for 8 legislators who had their phone records investigated under subpoena, which is a court,
order.
Approved measure, right? And this all, I think this goes back to the investigation about January 6th and who was involved in the attack on the Capitol. And so this was all done legally, but now these guys are mad, and women, there's some women in there. And so they're going to be 8 times 500,000. I believe that's $4 million of American tax dollars going into the pockets of these legislators.
Well, I don't know as far as what's in the bill about it, but you're not telling me they're writing them each $500,000 checks.
Yes, apparently that's what.
Well, how do you put that down in the IRS as income?
I don't know, but okay,
I have not heard this.
One of the things that I saw about this is Chip Roy, who is a very conservative, very fiscally conservative Republican from Texas. He is outraged about it, and so a lot of people are mad about this and some other things. And
I'll look into it because I hadn't heard that. The one that I heard about, which had me going, is where I thought you were going, is this idea that hemp products with THC.
Yeah.
The government's saying no, it's federally illegal. You can't do this.
Right.
Well, Attorney Keith Ellison was suing them to get them to do that. So I don't know if I'm on it for it again. I mean, to be quite honest, it's the difference between hemp and marijuana and THC.
I think this is interesting because, it's like, okay, we've hurt our farmers with killing USAID and tariffs. Now we've hurt the cattle ranchers with the subsidizing Argentinian beef. And let's see what else. There's another one. Poultry producers, the Department of, I don't know which, under Health and Human Services, one of those that pays attention to bird flu. We're not tracking bird flu anymore. And so we don't know what's happening with bird flu. And as we sit here in one of the biggest turkey producing states in the country, that's not great. And now we're going after the hemp farmers. And I was talking to my friend Carla Bigham, who was in the Senate with me and is now a Washington County commissioner. She was real involved because she lives in Cottage Grove. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And well, there are a lot of hemp farmers down there. And so they were working, she worked closely with Ag Commissioner Tom Peterson to help open up the market for hemp farmers. And this actually doesn't have anything to do with THC, but this is going to hurt the hemp farmers too. So
well, and it does in that this is how I understand this, and I had Putnam on earlier because he's on the Ag Committee.
He's
so
the chair. Yeah.
The hemp farmer, the old hemp farmer, if you will, could make rope and other things, and they can make bricks with hemp and that sort of thing. And that, that's what it was.
Right.
But then when we came up with this ability to get some THC out of it to make gummy bears, and I've never had a seltzer with it in it, like a beer with it. They came up with that. And Minnesota said good up to 0.5 milliliters of whatever hallucinogen, THC. Well, the federal government says, no, we're against it. We're not doing it. And what I don't get is the AG, Ellison, getting a lawsuit to get that to happen. That they sued the federal government to say, no THC from hemp. They can still, as I understand it, make ropes and stuff, but they were making money on gummy bears. Personally, it seems so strange to me that our attorney general would sue to get that done when people in Minnesota are making money doing it. And Minnesota literally legalized marijuana, which the federal government says is illegal.
We're not the only state to do that, by the way.
Well, no, but it's like, how many sides of the coin can we get? And yet I can't, I don't give a crap. I don't eat the gummy worms. I don't drink the seltzer. People want it. The hemp guy can grow it. I don't really care how you get your THC. If you can wring it out of a mushroom, I don't care. But my point is, this becomes a thing, and it was. But that's where I thought you were going with the continuing resolution.
No, that
was thrown in. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I heard. And I thought when you're going down that road, that's where we're going on this.
But that's my point. I was going to bring that one up too.
Okay, so but on this, and let's just go down the road, which I actually texted a pretty prominent human being this morning. I said, "What good does this do?" Because I'm mad on the other side. I don't want us to continue spending money the way we spent money as we did in the Joe Biden years. I don't want that. I want 12 bills that we can all talk about and bust up and decide whether we like. That's what I want. Get back to business.
Right.
So I'm not happy. So what this does is do nothing except, and again, I'm glad that they're going to get their SNAP benefits. I'm glad the people that work in the FAA are going to get their checks. But guess what? You better put some money aside because I think January 30th, boom, we're right back at it again. Because there won't be any holiday till Easter, then we'll figure that out. You know what I'm saying? This is a crazy way of doing business.
Oh, well, and I don't know how you feel about House Republicans having a 7-week paid vacation when federal workers were working without pay.
You're going to love me. If you aren't paying anybody in the federal government, you're not getting paid.
Right.
And I'd also throw this out, and this is where I will separate, and you're going to be mad at me. And if you decide to pull this plug, we don't get paybacks. Everybody, you get and that's for everybody.
You're not saying that for federal workers. You're saying
I'm saying that for everybody. If you want to put the pressure on the government to not screw up, right now they're like, it's going to be inconvenient. You'll get your check back. We say if these guys are going to pull that plug, they don't get paid. No one gets paid, and you know how quickly people will scream. You won't have one of these last more than a day or two. Because right now, there's that, you only miss one check for the month.
But you look at air traffic control and TSA, and we would have no air travel. And I'm just, and that's the thing. These folks have been working.
I feel sorry for them, but until we
get paid for the work they did.
They
continued working. Is all.
You hear where I'm coming from, though. Until right now, we can go 40 days. You only miss one check. We'll catch you back up. You'll be fine. They put that on the people they're screwing.
Right.
If it was really going to hurt, we're not going to get paid. You're right. Air traffic shuts down. They won't shut the government down again. They'll figure it out, is my point.
Right.
And they shouldn't get any money. I agree. Because they're, as I understand it, you tell me this. So your congressman got paid.
My congresswoman was at work. She was in Washington working the whole time.
But working. But their people, the secretary that makes her schedule, didn't get paid.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Right. This we have to fix it. I'm with you 100%. 100%. Yeah. Okay. We're there. Yeah. And can you tell me why January 30th is any better then yesterday, tomorrow, just there's no holiday for another 30, 60 days. Why January 30th?
Here's the thing. So, this whole thing, Republicans are like, oh, House Republicans. Because, let's be clear, the Senate was there the whole time, too. It was House Republicans. And, Mike Johnson says he's a very Christian man, but I can't believe everything that came out of his mouth during all this struck me as very much false witness. Anyway, they took vacation. They were not working. They kept saying this thing. It's like, well, we can't negotiate until we reopen, which is like so full of what, because we've all lived through these shutdowns. The second longest shutdown ever was under the Trump administration. And the way we fix the shutdowns is everybody comes to the table and negotiates. But this was a stunt. And, it's a whole question. If it was about not swearing in the Congresswoman Grijalva from Arizona, because she was going to be that final signature on the discharge petition for the Epstein files. Who knows what it was? But this whole kabuki theater that we can't negotiate while we're in a shutdown goes against everything that has happened and all the shutdowns we've been through in the past 15, however many years.
I'm going to just go for this side for a second, then we got to go because I want to get the other topic on here as well. So you say the Republicans did nothing. They went home for vacation for 7 weeks. But your representative was working in Washington. There were no votes, no committees, no anything. What was she doing in Washington?
She was doing constituent service, and she was
but
there.
that's exactly the right. And what do you think they might have been doing in their own districts? Were the Republicans just sitting at home smoking a cigar, or could they possibly been visiting people, their constituents? They're going to say the same thing.
Well, from everything I've heard from people in this state who were trying to get a hold of Emmer and Stauber and Finstad and Fischbach, they weren't available. They, so that they weren't really around because there was no sign of them. We don't have local news, so nobody was tracking them down and asking them what we're doing. And from what I understand, a few of them were actually posting vacation pictures from like Europe. And things that they were doing that was not a part of their job. But the point is the Democrats stayed there ready to negotiate at any moment, but they couldn't because of this lie that was being perpetuated by House Republican leadership that you can't negotiate.
But back to there was
negotiation.
The Republicans, the House passed the bill. They passed the continuing resolution. Until the Senate would pass it, you can't do anything because you got to have a passed bill on both sides. They already did this. I got to go to break. You're trying to stall so we don't talk about Medicare. You're stalling me. We'll be back after this. More with Senator Susan Kent.
The Capitol, who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck because that's exactly who we are. Your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on The Al Travis Show.
Love having her on. Senator Susan Kent. I want to talk the ACA, the healthcare.
Can I interject really quickly with a little
Why
thing?
not?
I just have you, as you may remember, a year and a half ago, my husband and I said goodbye to our sweet puppy of 15 years. And,
Oh, yeah, I do remember. That was a sad show.
And we have been struggling with the question of, are we going to get another dog? When are we going to get another dog? All that. And a friend of mine just shared a picture of the cutest little puppy, and now I have puppy fever in the worst possible way.
Friends are so bad that way. They never know when the morning's over, but they want to help. Oh, get a little puppy. I think it's an age thing, too. I think I have my last dog. Duke is like 5. So another 10 years, I will be 70-ish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to outlive the next dog. What do you do with it? So I think we're on our last one. You got to put all that. You're young. You could probably get a couple more in.
We're doing
okay.
it. I'm older than you, Al. So, yeah.
All right. You keep bringing it up. I don't. Okay. So real quick, and then I'll just throw it to you. Before Obamacare started, the ACA started, I remember my insurance, because it was me and my 3 boys on mine out on the whatever the regular market was back in the day. And it was about $300 plus a $3,000 a premium, whatever, deductible.
Deductible, yeah.
And I remember the year that Obama started talking all this stuff, mine went up to like $350. And it was like 18-20% increase. And it was like, wow, I really got. And I was mad at the time. Trust me, I wasn't thrilled about that. And that was 20-some years ago. And now with 2 boys under me, it's about $700. And I have $7,000 deductible on each one of us. And that also includes whatever the government's kicking in. I have to buy it off the market. I'm just sole proprietor. I buy it off the MinGov thing. And whatever that is, I have no idea. They just tell me this is what you got to pay. There are literally 2 options down here. One is so ungodly expensive, It's not an option. So I have one option. I can pick gold, silver, or bond. So the story this morning comes out with this 63-year-old non-smoker from Rochester, $338 a month, $721 coming from the government. If nothing changes, that plus the increase, he's going to be about $1,400 a month. He will be terribly teed off.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah.
But doesn't this prove the Obamacare trial, the idea of this never worked because there was no downward pressure on the insurance companies? There will be downward pressure now, because if mine goes up to $1,400 a month and I have $7,000 deductible, I'm probably out of the market.
So here's the problem, right?
Okay.
Ever since the Affordable Care Act was passed, whenever there's been a little bit of Republican power in Congress to undermine it and because insurance is complex, right? I mean, the prices come down the bigger the pool, right? The more people, because otherwise you have the disincentives for the young people to pay into
to
it.
not buy, to pay what they need for.
They think they don't need it, right?
Yeah.
And so what you end up with is the oldest, sickest, most vulnerable people, which is what drives the risk up and drives the cost up, because it's just a big math problem, And so we took away the mandate. Congress took away the mandate. Congress has taken away a bunch of the different price. And you're right. I mean, to make it affordable, there are a number of things that have to be done, and some of it is subsidizing it. And
this
is what happens when we have a system that is centered around supporting for-profit insurance companies, because that's ultimately what we're doing here, right?
Okay, so let me throw in now. We're at 96. So the deductible, or you get a fine if you don't have it, right?
Yeah.
They got rid of that. That's wonderful, but there's no place for me to buy an insurance program that is not on the Obamacare thing. So if I don't do it, I don't get fined. That's wonderful. I have no insurance. 6-year-old man completely out of shape.
Right.
I'm risking everything. So I have to still buy. That's the problem. I'm still in buying. Yeah. And you guys put the pool together. Everybody's in. You're 18 to 65. Everybody's got an insurance card in their pocket. So why didn't it go down? And here's why, because there's no downward pressure. I want the idea that I can
That's what I'm saying. For whatever it is now, 15, 20 years, the Republicans and to a degree the Supreme Court and other courts have been whittling away at what has helped keep it more affordable. And that's why the costs keep going up and up and up. But by the way, I do want to say this, because a Democrat in the Senate offered a bill to an amendment to this continuing resolution that would take the $40 billion that Donald Trump just gave Argentina It says we're not going to give that to Argentina.
That's
We're
just
gonna use
talking points.
that-
They did an exchange.
no.
We're actually going to make money on the Argentina $40 billion. I've got to go. But the other idea that it won't be affordable if we don't have subsidies. Who pays for the subsidies? The federal government. Where do they get their money? They take it from Al's left pocket to pay my insurance company in my right pocket. That's still Al paying. The subsidies don't do anything except decide who pays the money.
It stops a much worse situation. It stops a much worse.
Open the market. Let me decide. All I want is catastrophic. I don't want to have you pay for my yearly
Open
physical.
the market.
I'll do that if I want. I gotta go.
Increase profits for insurance companies.
Gotta go.